What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my 25 Days of Christmas Marathon. Today, we're going to be talking about a Disney Christmas film, The Santa Claus. Now, when it comes to the story, there really isn't much to it. It has a very predictable story process and outcome, along with it being a bit too silly and childish, although it is made for kids. For me, where it succeeds the most is with the grasp it has on Christmas itself and the spirit and magic aspect that comes along with that. The story is pretty shallow and formulaic, but it certainly has its fun along the way, whether it's from some of that cozy Christmas feel that it has, the couple of entertaining scenes with Tim Allen acting as Santa, or with some of the laughs and bits of banter between all the characters. The story does move at a very fast pace, so it makes it easy to digest, but with that, some of the timing and actions move almost too fast that leaves little to no explanation of how we got where we're at. With the characters, this is mainly a big Tim Allen show, and that either works for you, or it doesn't. There's really not much of an in-between. For me, I mainly enjoyed it, where I see it as one of his better performances when it comes to his filmography, especially for a Christmas film. Christmas with the Cranks. I definitely give him his due, because he's mainly acting around children for the most part, and he's forced to really carry the load, and as for a TV guy, that's a lot to ask for, and he's also forced into this PG role, where his sarcastic nature mainly suits the older crowd. Like anything he's ever done, he brings that cocky and sarcastic persona to his character, and for the most part, it works. Especially the minimal amounts that he had to do to bounce off with the adults, it mainly worked in his benefit. Although there's some bits where it looked like Allen was a bit tired of the role, he certainly brought a good charisma to the character, doing a pretty good job for what he was given with the script changes that the film went through. Now for me, outside of that Christmas feel, the best part of the film was that father and son tale that this movie tackled. Although cliche to the brim, and not completely fleshed out to the best of its ability, I thought their relationship was pretty well recognized, and the chemistry they had with one another worked pretty well. It kinda had this bittersweet edge to it, but I found it to be the selling point to the whole thing, because it very easily could have been even more cliche than what it was, going from that really bad relationship to really good in a blink of an eye. When it comes to the script, I personally see this as one of the better positives of the film. Sure, when they weren't cracking jokes, it was painfully by the numbers, where things were typically pretty boring if I'm honest, but when they were cracking jokes, which was a fair bit of the time, it mainly worked for me, especially coming from Tim Allen. The type of energy he brings to this role works really well with how the jokes were written, having many opportunities for those one-liners and funny bits of banter with all the characters. Tim Allen isn't typically that kind of guy that can just share chemistry with just anyone, but in this film, he at least has one good moment with all the relevant side characters. Again, this was certainly made for the kids, but there was more than enough adult humor riddled throughout this film to help make it easy to digest for the adults watching it with their kids, attempting to make this more of a family flick rather than just a kids flick. And the last thing I wanted to touch on was the technical aspects and of course the set pieces. Some of the sets are fine, like the North Pole, having loads of colors and cool set pieces, along with the elves being very playful and energetic, but if I call it a spade, the technical aspects, like say the CGI and the green screen work, was painfully dated. Yes, I understand this film was made in the 90s and was obviously shot on a lower budget, but a lot of the CGI and green screen work was super distracting, being super fuzzy and really out of focus, along with the backgrounds being horrendous. The last piece I had an issue with was the costume design. I feel like a lot of their focus went into Santa, which is fine and for good reason because he is the main focus, but a lot of even the elves looks and just the normal costumes felt very lazy and low effort. Overall, I don't think The Santa Claus is a bad film, but I don't think it's a good one either. I know a lot of people that adore this film, and I can see glimpses as to why, but for me, it's not really a necessity to watch every year. Because it's the holiday season, I'll give it the 5 out of 10, but in reality, it could be a 4 out of 10 all the way through. Let me know what you think about The Santa Claus in the comments below, and let me know what film I'd like to see me review next. See you guys on the next one.